What's good, everyone, and welcome back to Kaya's Commentary. And if you're new here, welcome to Kaya's Commentary. This is a podcast that offers commentary on pop culture topics, real world issues, anything in between, and maybe even some advice every now and then. Before we get down to it, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Kaya R. Pennington, and you can follow Kaya's Commentary on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Kaya's Commentary. Also, be sure to hit that follow/subscribe button, and for my YouTube viewers, click the notification bell so you get notified when new videos drop. Now let's kick it off with our first segment. I just find it funny how, where I give my commentary on something that I actually just don't find funny. I just find it funny how streaming services, TV in general these days, but mostly streaming services, will split up popular shows, like really popular shows, into two or more parts. The shows I'm about to mention come straight from Netflix, but Netflix is by no means the only streaming service that does this, so this is not an anti-Netflix thing. It's just I'm on Netflix. um, The Witcher Part 1, Season 3, Part 1 comes out in like a few days, and then Part 2 comes out in like July, mid-July at that. They did that with You. Part 1 came out and like towards the end of February. Part 2 came out, or towards the beginning of February, and Part 2 came out like at the beginning of March. They did that with Lucifer. You had Season 5 or Season 6, Part A, and then Part B. And they do this with really popular shows. And what I would say is the reason they did this is to keep viewership. Like, hey, we know you love this show. We're not going to give it to you all at once because we want you to come back. So we're going to split your favorite show up into like two parts. That way it's like guaranteed that you come back. And honestly, that has the opposite effect for me. Like, I lose interest. It's the same as holding off on a show for 5 freaking years after one season. Do I care about those characters anymore? Do I? Honestly, do I? It has the opposite effect for me. And it's so funny. I just find it funny how y'all would do all this to maintain viewership when all you have to do is, like stop canceling other shows that people care about and put like, efforts towards marketing those shows more. A lot of my rants these days, a lot of my rants these days are going to be focused towards that because I care about it. I care about this kind of stuff, and it's really maddening. Stop canceling shows after one season or six episodes at that, expecting that to make bank in that time. Studio execs today don't seem to understand that it takes time for TV shows to gain fandoms. They're not like movies where it's a blockbuster, it's a fail right away. Certain TV shows, they start out rocky. They don't always get fandoms right away. So you can't cancel a season after 6 episodes thinking that, oh, because it didn't have the amount of viewership that we wanted right away, we are going to cancel it. And then we're just going to split the popular show up that we were already working on. We're just going to split that up just to keep the viewership. Stop canceling shows. Go do better with marketing, and certainly stop canceling shows and then wiping them from existence. That's unfair to everybody that worked on that project. Like I think it was Paramount that did that a week or so ago. Like these things are getting wiped from existence because they didn't go to DVD or anything like that. Like, it takes time for TV shows to gain fandoms. It's a hit now or it's not. And because it's not a hit right now, quote unquote, we are going to just cancel it flat out, and then we're going to split this popular. Like, that has the opposite effect for me. Like, do I still care about these characters? Either they are holding shows off, like they release a season and then hold it off for like 3 years. They hold off the next season for like 3 years, or they just split it up. And it's like, I don't care about your show anymore. Like, I don't care about your show anymore. It's frustrating. It's aggravating. It has the opposite effect. And if you would you half of the effort to do all of that into marketing your shows, you wouldn't have to sit here and cancel them after one season. And then again, not just Netflix, but all these platforms coming up with all these uninteresting shows and uninteresting content that no one asked for. When you had content that was good, it had people that were watching it. It didn't build right away. as often is the case with TV shows. You don't get fandoms right away. That's a rarity. I just find it funny how streaming services will split up a popular show into two seasons or two halves, thinking that it's gonna retain viewership. Like, will it for some? Sure, but like me personally, do I still care about your show? It's been even after a month. Like I'm already on to the next. Like, do I still care? Do I? I just find it funny how y'all will spend time doing that as opposed to actually putting in the effort to market your show. I said a week or so ago that it's really about the progressive public and how they market your show. That's true, but also if you put no effort into marketing at all, they can only do so much. Like marketing, that's the answer, not splitting the popular shows in half trying to retain viewership. That's aggravating. With that, let's kick it into our next segment. Let's go to the movies, where I give my commentary on a movie I've seen. Today's movie, I think it was 2014 Vampire Academy. Does anybody remember this movie? And I have my notes on it. So I am going to be, they're going to be right here. But like, does anybody remember? It was based on some books, and I actually read a good chunk of the series. I didn't finish it out because I didn't like how one of the main characters ended up with her teacher, but I'll get there. So this is not really going to be a interchangeable discourse between the book and the movie because it's been so long since I've read the books, and again, I didn't even finish it out because that made her getting with her teacher made me rage and quit. Like she had two love interests, the teacher and another guy who was still older than her, but he's like 20. So I guess we'll give it of the two, we'll give it a pass. And I had of the time wanted, if we were gonna go with the older guy, she could at least ended up with the guy somewhat closer to her age, and she didn't, and I was mad. So I didn't finish the series. So this is certainly not going to be an interchangeable discourse between the book and the movie. I might mention a few things from the books, but for the most part, this is just a review on the 2014 Vampire Academy movie. Let's get into it. So it starts off with a really campy 2010s music intro. What was it? Live fast, die young, bad girls do it well. And I'm not hating on it because that was kind of catchy. Live fast, die young, bad girls do it well. Like that was kind of catchy. So I'm not hating on that. So you have Lissa and Rose. Now Lissa is Morgoi. That's the vampire. That's the class of vampire. And not only are the Morgois vampires, but they are also like they wield element magic, fire, air, water, earth. They wield element magic, and she is a part of the royal bloodline. So she's important. She's very much a main character syndrome type character. Also, the thing about the Moroi is though they are vampires and they don't sparkle, and they don't really, the sunlight annoys them, but it doesn't burn them. Which, side note, I really like how like a lot of vampire content today is just like, yeah, whatever you think you know about the sun and vampires, you don't. Like in Twilight, even though they sparkle in the sunlight. It doesn't, they just sparkle. Vampire Diaries, yes, the sunlight burns them, but they have daylight rings and daylight bracelets, so therefore they can walk in the sun. Here, sunlight aggravates them, but it doesn't really like, yeah, if you're out too long, but it doesn't really just burn them. Moonlight, the 2007, 2008 Moonlight, sunlight hurts, and if you're out there too long, yes, but it just like I like how vampire stories today is just like it's such a like it would be such an inconvenience to just have everything happen at night. Like, yeah, no, they get around the sunlight. So even though they can walk in the sun, they have element magic, they still Moroi vampires still die, like they still age, they still get sick. And it's like, what's the point of being a vampire if you age, if you get sick? Where's your immortality? Like, I don't think I ever really questioned that in the books, but then again, it's been so long since I read them. But like, what's the point if you still age? You got magic and you a vampire, you got vampire abilities and element magic, and you still age, you still get sick. Whatever is the point? Anyway, The movie starts off, you get that song coming on the radio. So Lissa, Rose, and Lissa's family, they're all driving in the car, and then just boom, car crash. Like just so sudden car crash. Kills all of Lissa's family, almost kills Lissa, but she somehow survives and she brings Rose back to life. So now they are, what did they call it? Shadow kissed? Rose is shadow kissed anyway. She's been to the dead. She's been to the other side and come back. So they have a bond that allows them to telepath. They can talk to each other in their minds together. Rose can feel what Lissa feels. And she can also like see glimpses of Lissa occasionally and what she's doing. So they have a connection, they have a bond. But this car crash was just a dream of what actually happened. So Lissa wakes up and Rose is like, you seem a little hungry. Come to the kitchen. I'll make you your favorite snack, which is Rose. Her favorite snack is, let me rephrase that. Rose is Lissa's blood bag. We'll call her, she's her feeder. How about that? We'll say she's her feeder. Which this whole movie, and I don't know if they hit home like this in the book, but this whole movie makes it seem like it's such a bad thing to be a quote unquote blood whore. Now Rose is a Damhire. I've never known how to pronounce that. I would always say, I don't even know how I would pronounce that, but she's basically half Moroi, half human. So half vamp, half human. And the half vamp, half humans, their jobs are to be guardians. They have specific Moroi that they protect. Rose is Lissa's assigned Moroi. Did I say that right? Rose is Lissa's assigned Damhire. And so would it be so out there? Because they call it Moroi Damhire masturbation or something like that, fornication or something. Would it be so wild that your assigned Damhire would be your feeder occasionally? Like their job is to protect you, and if that means giving you their blood occasionally, they made it seem like it was just such a degrading thing. And yeah, in a case it can be a degrading thing, but like they just made it seem like it was so like, and it's not. But anyway, so they're on the run. They ran from the Vampire Academy. They don't know why they ran. Someone told them that they had to run, and we'll come back to that. And so Rose offers Lissa her blood. She takes a little stag. It is very sexual tension in here, by the way. Like throughout a lot of vampire stories, you'll have this whole feeding can be a sexual process, an intimate process, or it can be like a fearful process. Like you have the scary vampires who suck you dry, and that's terrifying. And then you have like the quote unquote good vampires who they just need to feed. So when they take a feeder, it's a pleasurable experience. It's not bad. They can like endorphins can make it feel good. This is very sexual. Like when Lissa feeds, Rose is like moaning and stuff. She's not really moaning, but like she has a very euphoric face. Like it's an experience. Very sexual. Like anyway. So they're on the run from the academy, and academy guards are out, and they're like outside the compound, the apartment that they're at. And so Rose is like, all right, we gotta go. This is not a drill. We gotta go. So they proceed to start running. Rose has some badass moments that shows that she can fight. And then we get the big bad guardian that comes in. And I don't mean bad as in like bad. I mean like awesome, cool, ninja warrior type bad, right? Dimitri. And so he's like, hey, yo, you gotta come back to the academy. And I don't know if that actor was actually Russian. I don't know nothing about the Russian accent. It's not an accent that I've like been practicing. So I don't know anything about it. That didn't seem like the greatest Russian accent to me, but I don't know what a Russian accent was. I just know I couldn't understand him half the time. So anyway, he was like, hey, yo, you got to come back to the academy, right? And Rose is like, to get to her, you're going to have to go through me. So she's running. She's going to attack him. And he just says, wah! And she like hits her like in the chest area right here, which is supposed to be like a special spot that like immediately makes someone goes unconscious. So she went unconscious. And she wakes up in the car as they're taking Lissa and Rose back to the academy. She's handcuffed to the door. She has some what's the word I want to use? She has some lines in there that's like it's supposed to be edgy, sarcastic. Rose is supposed to be a very sarcastic character. On the way back to the academy, they get attacked by Strigoi. Now, Strigoi, they are the bad vampires. They are the ones that I think they can walk in the sunlight, but it has like a more dangerous effect on them. They are the ones that drain you dry. So how you become a Strigoi is that you kill a Moroi, you kill your feeder, right? And then you become Strigoi. So these are the bad vampires. These are the vampires that are immortal, that don't get sick. And it's like, I don't know. I think I might rather be Strigoi because, like, if I'm a vampire and I can wield elemental magic and I can wield vampire abilities, but I still age and I still get sick, whatever is the point? Like, I don't know. I might rather be Strigoi. Anyway, Rose has never seen a Strigoi in real life. So, like, yeah, they show you videos of a Strigoi as a guardian in training. They show you how to defeat him and all of that, but she's never seen it. And so she chokes when they're in battle. She was told to stay in the car, but she got out anyway. And like, there's a Strigoi coming at her, and she chokes. And then Dimitri comes in, and he's all badass, right? And so they fight off the Strigoi, and then they make it back to the academy where they have to meet with head mistress. I don't even know her name, but she is wildly, like, I don't want to say inappropriate, but inappropriate. Like, she talking mad stuff to Rose and like all in her face, and it's low key in a weird sexual way. I would say low key in a very weird sexual way. And then Demetrius like, "Hey, yo, stop the weird sexual threatening." Um, she and Lissa have the bond. So, and the bond is supposed to be this really important thing. So it's like, all right, you can stay. She has to stay. Lissa has to stay. But you was almost out of here. But you can stay. But you can't have any type of fun. You go to class, you go to dorm, that's it. And Rose is like, okay, whatever. So they make it back to the academy. They're going all to class. And Lissa's like, we're gonna stay, like, uh undercover, like we're just gonna act like we didn't just leave for a whole year and come back. We're just normal people. uh there's also a missing teacher element of this story. um what was her name? Carp, I believe. Like, she was weird, she was eccentric, and everyone noticed that. And Lissa and Rose were like, I like how she's like not like other teachers. But like, she was weird and she was eccentric. We also see that Lissa can compel, and obviously they're vampires, they can compel, but like Lissa, because she's the main character, I guess, like the person that you're supposed to protect, she has all these main character things. So like, she can compel on a higher level. So she's compelling the headmistress and being like, oh no, Rose can stay. Oh no, we can, it's all good, everything's fine. And so that's really another reason that Rose did not get kicked out, because they have the bond and because Lissa compelled them. So this film also is like a Mean Girls. They try so hard to be like, we are not some just another teen movie because we're too cool for that and we're too like fantasy like for that, while being a teen movie. This is very much a teen movie. And like, they even throw in the Mean Girls, which I don't even know if that was a thing in the book. Again, it's been so long since I read the book. But like, there are the Mean Girls. The main Mean Girl is Mia, and her whole backstory is that she dated Lissa's brother, and Lissa's brother was supposed to be like this cool guy, and he was actually sweet and nice, but he also could be a player. He's a guy. And so Mia got duped by him, and so she disliked Lissa's brother, who's now dead. So now she's taking her anger out on Lissa. She stole Lissa's boy. She didn't really steal Lissa's boyfriend because Lissa left, but she is very much the replacement for Lissa's ex. Um, and so she's pulling all these pranks on Lissa, and she's like crap talking Lissa. And what is it here? Hold on. Is it like, I don't know. It's wild. There's a line Lissa has where she's like crap talk. No, there's a line Mia has where she's crap talking Lissa and Rose. And she's like, I don't even know what she said, but she was like, oh, don't like what I'm saying? What are you gonna do about it, huh? This and that and that. Like, it was so like, pipe down, sis. Like, you are not the top chick here. Pipe down. Like, you are very much replacement and you know this. Chill out. Like, it was wild. Anyway, we also have Christian, bad boy Christian, dark Christian, right? And so his parents willingly turned Strigoi. And so now everyone calls him a freak and they think that, he's turning Strigoi. And so he's like an outcast. But he meets up with Lissa in Lissa's secret hiding spot, which is a compartment within the church, a room within the church. And so they get all flirty. It's a flirty-ish exchange, but it's like no chemistry whatsoever. Like it, I would honestly say that in this book and this movie, Christian had more chemistry with Rose, and Lissa had more chemistry with Rose. And Dimitri just didn't have chemistry at all with Rose. Like there was it, even as a kid, even as like a 14, 15, I don't know when I read this, like 14 to 16-year old, I just did not like the fact that they were trying to push the teacher student. That's very much a 2010s thing to do. So, but like, no. Anyway, um, yeah. So he comes in and they get all flirty, and it's supposed to be like, they're together, but he's such a dark soul. And Rose, she is seeing what Lissa sees, right? And so Rose is like, no, stay away from him. And she kind of gets in there and ruins that. Um, so let's talk about Lissa real quick, because she has this whole she is definitely the main character type thing through and through. She's supposed to be this really powerful thing. She's like one of the last royal bloodlines of her specific family, because they died in a car crash. And she's just she compels, she controls all elements. Everyone has to protect her, but she is so very much useless. Like I'm supposed to be strong, but I can't do magic. I can't levitate freaking twig. Very much Katrina from Sleepy Hollow type character. Like it's just so aggravating. It's so aggravating to sit here and have to watch her character sit here and be protected, and she screams a lot. She wants no, she's 17. She and Rose are 17. So like not to like take away from that fact they're 17-year-olds, they're gonna act like 17-year-olds. But like, sis, you are a vampire and you have magic. Now, the thing about her is that she's undeclared, meaning that she doesn't know necessarily how to wield a specific magic. Like Christian's magic, he's fire, right? Specifically, he's fire. Lissa doesn't have like a specific magic, so she can't really wield like that. But I personally hate that trope that I'm so strong that I just can't. Like it's very much a segue into the crazy witch genre, and I just hate it. Anyway, um I'm looking down at my notes because I watched this last night just to get it all in my head, and I took a lot of notes from it. Oh, you have Natalie. Natalie is the quote unquote dork. But here's the thing about Natalie. Like, yes, you can be pretty and still be like an outcast. But the only way that they I'm sorry, the actress who played her, what's her name? I want to say Sarah um Haley from Modern Family. I'm so sorry, I can't think of her name. But basically what they do is they just throw some glasses on her and now she's unattractive. That's not how that works. That is not how that works. But she's the dork. She's the one that's like, oh, I wish boys would look at me, and I'm just so shy and I just can't talk anything. Now, Natalie has a father figure, an actual father, Victor. He's old, he's aging, he's McGrory, but they still age, they still get sick. So he's sick and he's battling with a sickness, but he seems so kind and so nice, and so does Natalie. Anyway, Someone is trying to scare Lissa off. They get back to the school and someone is immediately trying to scare Lissa off, and they're like, go away or you're gonna die. They kill a whole bunch of animals around her. Lissa has the ability to like sort of bring people back to life like she did with Rose. And so some animals she tries to bring back to life, but she can't because dead is dead. So if it's dead and gone, it's gone. But if it's dying, she can sort of bring it back to life. So it's almost like a test to see what she can and can't bring back to life. But she doesn't know that. She just knows that someone is trying to scare her off and they're killing animals trying to scare her off. You have a moment, and this is supposed to be a flirtatious moment, but it's just you have a moment with Dimitri and Rose because Dimitri becomes Rose's trainer, her instructor. And so Rose has this moment where she's flirting and like making out with a 17-year-old kid because she's a 17-year-old kid. And it gets a little far when he tries to feed on her. Again, apparently it's so out there to be a quote, just to be a feeder for your specific Marori. And so everyone is calling her like a blood whore, and everyone was like, oh, we know you did it with Lissa, come on, you can do it with me. Like, again, it can be degrading when you do it that way. Dimitri comes in, pulls him off of her, and so later that day Rose is trying to like put up a front like she's older than what she is, and she was like sorry about what you saw. And Dimitri's like, yeah, it was so uncompletely acceptable of me to think that you would act any other way than a 17-year-old would act. Yeah, it was unacceptable because even though like she's a guardian in training and she's also a 17-year-old girl, she's gonna behave like it, like. And she just laughs it off. She laughs it off, and then she's like, she looks up at the sky and she's like, the sunlight, oh, it's so nice, it's so awesome. And then turns back to him, and she's like, I'm more than a 17-year-old kid, train me, I got this, I can do this. And just like, that was a weird scene, and it's not flirty at all. It's very much a difference in age. You're like 30, she's 17, she's gonna act like it, and you didn't have to do all of that. Clearly there's like about to be a romance there, and it's just it it didn't need to be. It didn't need to be. You're gonna hear me turn my notes. I'm sorry, I didn't put them on my computer like I did last time, but like I said, I wrote a lot. Mean girl Mia, we cut to the next scene. Mean girl Mia, she's passing notes in class, and so like she's obviously passing it to like she's passing it crap talking Lissa, right? So the teacher sees, he takes the note from her, and she's obviously like, no, please don't read it in front of the entire class, which he does. And it's basically shaming and berating Lissa and Rose, and specifically Rose for giving Lissa her blood, which again, anyway, no wonder they wanted to leave, right? No wonder they left and did not come back if the entire school, including the faculty, berates them like this. And then the teacher goes on to be like, I'm gonna pretend that I didn't read that. You didn't have to read it. You could have read it in your own head and then be like, I'm not gonna read that in front of the class. Cut it out. Like you made a choice to read that in front of the entire class. And then it's like, I'm gonna pretend that I didn't read that after you already humiliated them. Like, you didn't have to read it. That was a choice. You made a choice to read it. We also have Mason. Is that his name? Mason. Yeah, he has a crush on Rose, and he's Rose. They're best friends. Him and Rose and Mason are. But Mason has a crush on her, and Mason is very much a 20 teens type guy. So there's a rumor that Rose, when she was hooking up with that one guy, he went on a lying spree and said, yeah, she hooked up with me and my friend and let us feed from her because they're 17-year-old boys. And so Mason confronts her. He's like, did it happen? And she's like, no. She's like, well, yeah, I made out with that one guy, but no one else was there. And so he has a line that's like, oh, but where there's smoke, there's fire. Listen, pipe down on the misogyny, okay? Like, I don't owe you nothing, okay? You big mad because you wanted that to have been you. It's a lie regardless, but you big mad because you wanted it to have been you. And so she has a line. She's like, yo, I cannot deal with your feelings right now. He's like, okay. And he walks off like, yeah, no, I'm not going to deal with that. Goodbye. What is that misogyny? And then later in the film, when he gets the two guys to apologize to her, And she's like, oh, you're so awesome. And she kisses him on the cheek and then walks away. And he's like, dang, I did all of this only to get a kiss on the cheek. Ouch. I don't owe you anything. I didn't owe you a kiss on the cheek. Like, my guy. My guy, very much a 2010s. I'm nice and I'm, awesome and we've been friends for a while, so automatically I should like be in the contest for your body. Like anyway, yeah, Mason is very much a 2010s character, and a lot of guys do that. Even Peeta, but we give Peeta a pass because Peeta had a right. Peeta had liked Katniss from the beginning, but then like she played with his feelings rather than let him die when he was ready to die. So like he had a right to be upset at that. And then he even still apologized. So he's the only one we give a pass. But very much a 2010s kind of guy. Anyway. Uh you got another Christian and Lissa moment where they're supposed to be flirting, but again, they just don't have the chemistry. He had more chemistry with Rose. She had more chemistry with Rose. But you get another thing where they're supposed to be flirting. So Rose comes in and she's like, no, she's just playing with you. She likes to play with people's feelings. Like, why would you say that about your best friend, even to like get her to stop seeing someone you consider a freak? Like, and so Christian is like, all right, screw her, right? So he leaves. Lissa is like tired of trying to play under the cover, so she steps back into the popular girl character, even though she doesn't really want to, but she kind of gets like out of hand with it. Like she kind of like starts feeling it too much and gets really like mean girl bitchy about it. And so it's only after Rose gets hurt that Lissa's like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have behaved that way. I need to go apologize to Christian as well. I'm sorry. Um, so she has a little calm down. They go on a regular girls date-ish, friendship date-ish, where they go buy dresses for the Equinox dance that's coming up. They get their dresses. Rose is a very pretty but very expensive necklace. And so they just get the dress and they come back home to like kind of dress up for the dance. And then Natalie gifts Rose the necklace saying that it was a gift from her father. Um, and then we go to the dance, right? So we get to the dance, it's all good, everyone's having fun. Something happens where Lissa storms out and Christian follows her to their secret little spot. Now, Rose has a confrontation with Mia, and it ends up with Rose hitting Mia, and so Mia gets dragged away to the principal's office. The principal is about to sedate her, but she ends up sedating the principal, and then she's going to look for Dimitri because somehow in there, Lissa gets in trouble, right? She gets kidnapped. So Rose gets to Dimitri, and then they have a moment. It turns very sexual, and they start making out. They disrobe. He takes off her dress. He throws it in the fire. Why'd you throw her dress in the fire, bro? Like in the fire? Why? And then Dimitri realizes what is happening. He realizes that the necklace is a love charm, so he takes that off, throws it into the fire as well, and everything immediately ceases to be like so hazy, sexual, sensual. And they go find Lissa. Now, it all boils down to this. It's Victor. Victor is the one trying to scare her off, but he wasn't really trying to scare her off. He was trying to see how well she could heal the dying, the dead, right? Because he's dying, he's dead, and he doesn't want to. He wants to very much live. And so it's like, why not just turn Strigoi if that's the case? Because then you'd be immortal and the sickness would go away. But I guess as a Strigoi, he couldn't rule, and ultimately that's what he wants. He wants his youth back so that he can rule them. So he's like, yeah, you're gonna give me your entire life force, and I'm gonna get better. You're gonna die. That's just how it's gonna be. You don't need that. You don't need your life anymore. It's okay. So Natalie has been helping him. She's the one that's been killing animals and testing her. She turns herself Strigoi, and there's a fight with Rose before Dimitri comes in, and they tag team Natalie and kill her. Victor doesn't get away either. All's well as that ends well for the most part. We get another scene with Rose and Dimitri where she's like, you lied to me about your feelings because the love charm can't create nothing from something from nothing, right? So you lied to me about your feelings. And he's like, well, I'm faculty, you're a student. Like, that's the only reason y'all can't be together, not because she's 17 and you 30. The age gap alone. But no, it's because I'm faculty and you're a student, and that would be inappropriate. That's what would be inappropriate. So she's like, yeah, we can't do this. Sorry. Also, the whole teacher thing, Carp, I believe her name was, she kidnaps Lissa and Rose and then is like, hey, y'all gotta run. So she compels Rose and is like, you just need to get away from here. And she's been going crazy because she also was someone like Lissa who did not have a specific power yet, which means I think she was like Shadow Kiss 2 or something. So she turned herself Strigoi to like just stop the pain that was coming from that. And then we get an end scene, a cliffhanger where like they're in a cave some far off way and they're about to like lead a Strigoi army on the academy, and that's the end. And I don't even think that was in the book, right? But it's very much a this is not another teen movie because we're too cool and fantasy like, while being a teen movie, very much a teen movie. Don't mistake me though, y'all. I ate this up. 14, 16-year-old Kaya ate this up. And when I realized it wasn't getting a sequel, I wasn't devastated, but I was like, dang, I gotta know where they're going with that plot, because that was not the book plot at all. Like, it's just something that you take at face value. It's very much 2010s, and the whole teacher student relationship is very much 2010s, and the whole we're too cool to be another teen movie, we're not a teen movie, we're so much cooler than that. And it's like it's giving a little bit of pick me vibes as far as movie goes. And actually, if we're going like the pick me route, the Duff did it better. I think the Duff came out 2015, a year later. The Duff did it better, but uh it's not bad if you take it at face value. It's um 5.5 out of 10. Just take it at face value, realize what it is. If you need background noise, there it be, there you have. Take it at face value. It's not bad, and I did eat it up. I rage and quit the book when she got with the teacher, and it was a whole thing. This movie tries too hard to be something else, and it's just take it at face value. 5.5 out of 10. With that, let's kick it into our next segment, online conversations, where I give my commentary on an online conversation that I've seen. So Bridgerton season 3 has finished wrapping. And I guess we'll get the release date or the trailer sometime in another year or so. Who knows? But I've been seeing a lot on my TikTok feeds about, oh, this is Penn and Colin's story. This is Penn and Colin's story. Awesome. And you know it's your story when y'all get a glow up. Now, certainly everybody looked better in season 2 compared to like season 1, but Penn definitely got a glow up as far as like hair and makeup. She is literally glowing in them promo shots that we got, right? Literally glowing. And Colin looks, a little better or about the same in season 2. Here's my thing. I am trying so, because I've seen so many people I've seen both sides. I've seen so many people be like so hype about it, and then I've seen so many people be like, I hate Penn, or I'm not excited for Penn and Colin, and it's like, I don't even mind Penn, right? Like, I don't. People will get mad because, she's Whistledown, and yeah, me and Whistledown got beef now because Heavy is the head that wears the crown, and she over here making fun of the queen, so yeah, we got beef. But outside of that, I'm not totally upset with Penn. People are talking about what she did to Eloise. You can make the argument for both sides on that. I'm not totally messed up about Penn. It's Colin. I am trying so hard, y'all, to keep an open mind and not even like some hate to the actor, because I know he gets hate, which sucks. I am trying so hard to keep an open mind, but I just don't care about Colin as a character. Therefore, I don't care about his love story with Penn at all. And I think in the books their love story is a whole, oh, she's like, he's helping her get like people to look at her, kind of like how Daphne did in season 1. She was using um Simon as a way to get other prospects, people to look at her. I think that's what their case is gonna be like, but Colin got the sex appeal of like paint drying. Like, I don't know why Colin, if that's the case, I don't know. Again, no hate to the actor. It's just the character, y'all. I could not possibly care about that character. And y'all, people will say, oh, but this is his time to build up as a character. He hasn't had his time to shine. Neither has Benedict, but Benedict is still more interesting than Colin. Like, yo, I don't care about Colin as a character. That man, like, and I'm trying so hard to keep an open mind. I really am. But they're gonna have to completely 180 Colin for me to care. And maybe they will. Maybe they're gonna turn it around and make me care about him. I'm trying so hard to keep an open mind. So maybe I will come back after season 3 finally gets released and I will eat my words that I said here and now. But as of here and now, I just don't care about Colin as a character. Woof, boy, do I not care. Like, I don't care about his love story with Pan. Again, I would just honestly rather these two people have two separate love interests, respectively, that they could get together with, as opposed to getting together. But I know that's not how it's done in the book, and you have to stay consistent with who they end up with in the book. But y'all. But hey, maybe they will make me eat my words. That's just a little my commentary on a little online conversation that I've seen. Pan and Colin's love story from Bridgerton, and how I am trying so hard to care. With that, let's kick it into our last segment, Damn You Cancellation, where I give my commentary on a canceled TV show that I used to watch that I loved. This one isn't really much of a damn you cancellation. It's more of a damn you cancellation. And here's why. So we're talking about Galavant. Way back in days of old, there was a legend told about a hero known as Galavant. This was an ABC musical comedy, 30-minute musical comedy about a hero named Galavant. And so he had a lady love, Madalena. And so they were, poor but happy. But then Madalena gets kidnapped by a nearby king, Richard, and she's forced to marry him, which, sounds horrible. But then when Galavant actually comes in to save her, she's like, it wasn't ideal that he kidnapped me, and I don't ever see myself loving this man. But being rich ain't so bad. Living in a castle, having money ain't so bad, gal. I'm sorry. You knew what this was, babe. We were just friends. We were just friends with strings. Like this. Sorry. So Galavant is like, he's heartbroken by that, right? And so we pan forward a year. Galavant is no longer a hero. He's just a drunk. And Madalena is comparing, she's just so stuck up now and she wants a jewel. And so she's like comparing Richard to Galavant to get him to get the jewel. So Richard comes up with this plan to kill Galavant using Isabella. He's like, hey, you are the princess of this kingdom, but since I took it over, you're going to work for me or I'm going to kill your parents, right? So go find Galavant, trick him into coming here, and then I'll release you and your parents, right? Okay, cool. So Isabella, Galavant, and Galavant's manservant, Sid, all go on an adventure and a journey to get to the kingdom. They finally get there. And then Galavant realizes that he's been duped, he's been tricked, but he also realizes that he doesn't even care about Madalena. He wants Isabella. And that's really kind of season 1. It's really great. I would highly recommend season 1. It's on Hulu. I would highly recommend season 1. Then season 2 hit. And it's very clear they did not expect to get a season 2. And they say that. It's a very much a, I don't want to say in your face. It's very, it knows what it is. It knows what it is and it jokes about what it is and what it isn't, right? And so it's very clear in season 2 that they didn't think they were going to get a season 2. So it's very much thrown together. And then it ends well, all's well that ends well in season 2. But I would say it was canceled after season 2, and I think there might have been other reasons that it got canceled, but the main one was that ratings, I think, were not the greatest, and quality wasn't the greatest. Like, yeah, you got some moments, some songs from season 2 that hit, but for the most part, season 1, season 2, okay, like, so we like the series, we do as a whole, yes. And I do hate that it like the quality of season 2 wasn't on par with season 1. Season 1 was awesome. Like, I hate that it wasn't on par with season 1, but it being canceled is just that did kind of suck, cuz like if they had known they were going to get a renewal from the jump, I can't imagine that it would have ended the way that it did. So, it's just one of my beloved yet canceled shows, but it's not like a fish shaking, damn you. It's more like a you were right, but damn you anyway type thing. But I would highly recommend checking it out. Certainly the first season. It's on Hulu. With that, that's Damn You Cancellation. And that's Kaya's commentary. If you like this episode, do please like this episode. Give it a thumbs up. Hit the follow/subscribe button. Leave likes and comments. Let me know any of your thoughts on any of the segments that I had. Be respectful, but certainly let me know any of your thoughts and opinions on any of the segments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you next week.